Assalamu alaikum, dear learners, honorable guardians and respected colleagues. Welcome to our Dhaka Online School. This is Kausar Hauladar, Assistant Professor and Vice Principal of Cambrian School and College. Dear learners, today we will discuss about from Biology second paper, and this class start from today only for our English version student, and both of you can join with us, the Bangla version and English version students, and for some queries from different institution in our country, and the query and request only for the students, we are starting this class for English version. So let's begin. Today we will discuss from our chapter number 3, and you know the name of the chapter is digestion and absorption. And from this chapter we are discussing a specific topic. Before going to the topic, you should have to find out what is our main topic. So the chapter number 3 from human physiology, digestion and absorptions. Okay, dear learners, have a look at the screen. You can see a process of our body, and in this process we can get energy, and this is a portion. This is not a whole process and whole system. This is a portion. Someone taking food in a process portions, and you know what is the portion and how food digestion in this portion. Actually, this is our today's topic. So dear learners, before going to our main topic, you should have to share with your friends, you should have to share with your platform and different type of our educational group. So I am also share in my wall and checking the visualization and sound is okay or not. Our live is streaming, I can see, so need have to refresh the screen. Dear learners, stay with us, stay Dhaka Online School, and this effort only for you in this pandemic situation. We are standing here only for you. Our effort will be success. Our effort will be success if you are benefited from these sessions. So as early as possible, you share with your other friends, and you mention, you tag with your friends. I am also sharing in my wall. Okay, thank you very much. Those who are watching our Dhaka Online School live page, please share to others. So dear learners, this is the other portion in our human body, and in these portions digestions also occurs, different type of enzymes, and our today's main topic is the digestion in our two parts of our body and digestive system, and digestion in mouth, and the other hand digestion in our stomach. So the food digestion in mouth and stomach, our today's topic. So this is the topic declaration, digestion in mouth and stomach. Dear students, you should have to sit down with your screen with paper and pen, because of some topic and subtopic related explanation should have to write down and note down. So let's have a learning outcomes. After end of this lesson, student will be able to tell the process of digestion in mouth and explain the mechanical and chemical digestion in stomach. So this is our buccal cavity. I hope you know the every portion of our buccal cavity, and you can also identify the different parts of our buccal cavity. Actually, in our face, in our mouth are surrounding different type of things, and the main hole and the main space, the surrounding spaces and surrounded by the different type of things, this is called the buccal cavity, such as This is our tongue, and you know the different type of taste bud are there, and this is the floor mouth. This is called the floor mouth, and we have the two jaw. The upper jaw is called the maxilla, which is fixed on the two part of the maxilla, and the single bones are called our lower jaw is called the mandible, and it can move when we are taking food. It can move and open and close our mouth, and in the separated or several jaws are consist of 16 teeth every jaw, and we know that there are four type of teeth: the incisor, the canine teeth, the premolar and molar teeth. So this is the upper lip, and this is the lower lip, and this is called the uvula, and the also its Bengali name is the algiva, and this is the English name is uvula, and also another name is the epiglottis. When the food are take a journey into our alimentary canal, then our pharynx are closed by the uvula. So this is tonsil, and you know the tonsil is a gland like, and the tonsil consists white blood cells and lymph, and it take part the body defense systems. So my dear students, this is the soft palate and this is hard palate, and we discuss about the teeth, and you know also that we have the four kind of teeth. So this is our buccal oral cavity or buccal cavity. Someone pronounced the buccal cavity, and we have the three pair of salivary gland. You know that in mouth digestive system, in our mouth we need the crushing food, we need the chewing food by the teeth, and the salivary gland are take part, and salivary gland are helps for the mucus or mucin secretions for lubricating the food and make the bolus. It called the food, the lubricated food make called the bolus. So dear students, we have the three pair of salivary gland: sublingual gland near our tongue, and the submandibular gland the under our mandible, and the parotid gland near our ear. So the salivary glands in mammals are the exocrine gland, because of it has a canal, it has a tube for secretion enzyme, and that is why it's named the exocrine gland, and that produce saliva through a system of duct. And human have three paired major salivary gland, and parotid, submandibular and the sublingual. To saliva, which things are consist saliva? You know the salivary amylase is a very important enzyme for digestion of our food, and the salivary amylase can take part only the carbohydrate foods such as the glycogen and starch, and it only take parts on and only work or break down the cooked food, that means the boiled starch and the glycogen. So my dear students, the main compositions of the protein and ion component make a solutions that is 99% water into a viscoelastic, the solutions capable of many rules. The main rules of the salivary amylase, and it can acting as a lubricant and an antimicrobial, preventing the dissolution of teeth, the aiding digestions and the facilitating taste. So when we are taking different type of carbohydrate foods such as the starch and the glycogen, then salivary amylase, that means the maltase, can break down this food into glucose or sucrose and galactose. This is the process we are taking of food and the mastications. Do you know what is the mastications? Okay, I have to check out who you are connected with now. Fakrul Joshim, we are with you and your excellent class. Thank you very much, and you are also our inspirations. And in these situations, we are some teachers are standing only for you, dear students. Because of in this pandemic situations, you are having trouble for taking the educations in face-to-face learning. That is why we are providing the distance learning from like this online schools. And stay with us and stay with Dhaka Online School. Every day different type of subjects are running by a specific routine. Please check out our routine and stay with your younger brother and sister and other friends. Okay, dear students, this is the main process of the mechanical digestions, and you should have to know digestions is actually the different two process. The one is the mechanical digestion, and the another is the chemical digestions. So what is mechanical digestions? Mechanical digestions is a different process. It's actually the taking food and mastication of food and the crushing by our teeth and the adding lubricant things, that the mucin with the food and making bolus. This is called the mechanical process of digestion, and it's a pre-digestion process. So the taking of food and mastications, the mixing of saliva and making bolus. Bolus, that means the chyme of food. Bolus, that means the chyme of food. After mastications, after mixing of saliva, it will be very soft, and it will be ready for journey through the alimentary canal to stomach. And bolus and engulf. Engulf, that means the Bangla meaning is the bhakkhon. And when we taking food and after mastication, our surrounding the buccal cavities, different type of parts, that means the tongue and our teeth and our palate are help for the mastications and mixing of saliva, and then it's make bolus and then engulf. So this is called the mechanical digestions. So what is chemical digestion in our mouth? So the only carbohydrate breakdown in the oral cavity, you know already, I mentioned. And the carbohydrate, that means the starch and the glycogen, only ptyalin, and you know the salivary is the another name is ptyalin, and ptyalin consists the salivary amylase with water, and 99% of component of ptyalin is water, you know. So the maltose enzyme, the ptyalin consists the enzyme maltose, and the ptyalin consists ptyalin break down the carbohydrate and produce the food materials, food particle. This is the maltose, and the maltase enzyme, the food name is OJ, the last part is OJ, the enzyme name is the last part is age. So remember this, the maltose, this is the food, and maltase, this is the enzyme. The last part, the pronunciation and last part is the OJ, and the maltase, the last part is age. Should have to remember, and you can note down. So the carbohydrate, the ptyalin take parts on carbohydrate and break down a small particle of the carbohydrate. It's called maltose, and maltose are break down by the activity of the maltase and produce glucose. And you know glucose can absorb in our cell for the cellular respirations, and then the burning the glucose by oxygen and oxidation process, we can get the energy, and the energy we can get from the ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So dear students, let us watch a video. Okay, digestion in mouth and esophagus. Okay, I am increasing the volume. Taking food, this is our buccal cavity, mouth, and the food mixed with the saliva with the crushed food, the food crushed by the teeth. And we know the three pair of salivary gland in the surrounding our buccal cavity, and this is the bolus of food. After mastications, we know it makes bolus. and dear students, look at the animations. When food are go through the alimentary canal or esophagus, then then this is the consequence, consequently it's going through, and it is called the peristalsis process. The consequently going through the bolus is called the peristalsis process.
Movement, that is contraction and expansion movement of walls, so that the partially digested food is pushed forward in the tract. This peristaltic movement occurs throughout the alimentary canal. From the mouth, the food is pushed to the stomach through the food pipe or esophagus.
And now we have to know about the stomach, the another portions, and you know we are discussing our actually the two learning outcome, focus on the two learning outcome. The one is the digestion in mouth. Already we know the mechanical and the chemical process of digestion in our mouth, and this is our turn. So how food digestions in our stomach? So actually this is the stomach, and stomach have different type of parts. You know, this is the fundus, and this is the fundus part, and this is the pyloric vast, and this is the body, and this is the body, and this shape is called the body, and the inside wall of stomach is look like the finger like, and it's called the rough. It's not a very smooth, and it's rough and look like the finger, and it's called the rugi. And this is the cardiac part, because it's very near to our heart. This part is near to our heart, and this is called the cardiac part. So there are different parts of stomach. Very near to the esophagus is called the fundus, and after fundus this is the cardia, and this is the whole body is called the body, and near the duodenum, and you know the first part of our small intestine is duodenum, and this is called the pyloric part. And this is the pyloric sphincter, and sphincter is look like a valve. After opening sphincter, and the digested food then can through the duodenum. Without the opening this sphincter, the foods or digested food cannot enter the duodenum. So let's look at how to digestions occurs in our stomach. So in the digestion in our stomach, the different type of cell of the internal surface of our stomach, and different type of cell secretion, different type of enzymes and hormone. So this is the mucus cell, always secretion the mucus. This is the parietal cell, or secretion the hydrochloric acids. You know the hydrochloric acid can take part a very important role in our digestions, and it can also activate a specific enzyme. And the sheep cell also secreted enzyme. This is the pepsinogen, sheep cell secretion pepsinogen. These are the different types of cells and the secretions of cells. The goblet cell always secretions the mucus, and mucus for mucus the stomach cannot digestion its own wall. Only for mucus the stomach cannot digestion its wall, because of pepsinogen. Pepsinogen only can take part on the proteinous materials, you know, and our body built by the protein, and stomach also a protein. So pepsinogen cannot the digestions the stomach wall of stomach because of the mucus. So the parietal cell, the gastric cell, it's called a different type, different name. The gastric cell, gastric acids, and it's named the hydrochloric acid. And the sheep cell, the pepsinogen and hydrochloric acid, they activate the pepsinogen, and then pepsinogen can take part, but it occurs in the digestions. And the D cell, somatostatin, inhibits an acid secretion. Somatostatin, D cells, and it's secreted from D cell, and somatostatin the control the secretion of hydrochloric acids, and the Z cell it can secretion the gastrin and stimulates acid secretion. It's also a hormone, and it can control secretion of gastric acid. So, dear learners, this is our stomach, and stomach can also the movement for the mixing of food, for the mastication of food inner the stomach. So, this is the process, and the move call also this move call also the peristalsis process, you know, before we discuss about that. This is the cardiac this is the cardiac stomach region, and this is the sphincter of cardiac. When open the sphincter, esophagus go through esophagus enter the food from the stomach, and the stomach is movement and peristaltic process for mixing the different type of enzyme and acid. The secretion of from stomach wall is called the gastric juice. In gastric juice, HCl, mucin, pepsin, and renin are found. So, these are without HCl, these are all the enzyme. The mucin take part for the lubricating the food, and the pepsin and renin are actually the proteolytic enzyme which are take digestions in the protein types food. So, carbohydrate digestions. So, no digestions in the stomach carbohydrate, because of there is no enzyme for taking part carbohydrate foods. And the protein digestions, the protein, pepsin, proteose and peptones. So, pepsin enzyme break down the protein and make very small protein, and it called the proteose and peptose. Casein, the milk casein protein we found in the milk, and the renin enzyme, the casein is converting the paracasein. And lipid digestions, the fat, different type of fat we are taking every day with our meal, and the fat, definitely lipase enzyme in our stomach, it take parts on the fat, and it can digestion fat and converted the fatty acid and glycerol. So, this is the main digestion process in our stomach, and before we are discussing about the mechanical process, and this is the chemical process in our stomach are occurring these things. That means that there is no carbohydrate digestion we cannot found because of lack of the amylolytic enzyme, and the protein digestions, and always pepsin the break down the protein and make the proteose and peptone. Renin break down the casein and converting the paracasein, and lipid digestions, and lipase break down the fat and converting fatty acid and glycerol. And these peptones or amino acid and this fatty acid and glycerol only absorb in our body. So, dear learners, we are now in evaluating period or evaluating sessions. So, there is a CQ question, and this is a STEM. Okay, let's look at in a invitation Tamim took mass food and filled his special 5-layered sac-like organ. You already find out who is the organ. In this special sac-like organ, the food materials are digested in special 2 process, and this sac-like organ is very important for human body. And look at the last statement of the STEM. This sac-like organ is very important for our body or for human body. And you already got out what is the sac-like organ, 5-layered sac-like organ. And the questions are, the first question is for knowledge, and which acid kill the germ in stomach. And you know the already we discussed about the HCl, hydrochloric acid, and what is meant by digestion. Actually, what is meant by digestions? You know, the some enzymes are occurred, we are taking food, and it's a very simple food for absorbing for our body, absorbing for our cellular respirations. And describe the mentioned special two process. Actually, two process is called the mechanical process and the chemical process of digestions, and different parts of our body, the digestion in mouth and digestion in stomach. And analyze the last sentence of the stem. Actually, what is the last sentence of the stem? You know, this sac-like organ is very important for human body. So, this sac-like organ, that means the stomach is very important for our human body. And you know, there is a story that a stomach cannot do anything, you know. So, stomach if a stomach is stopping the working, so you know what will be what will be the condition for our body. So, dear learners, this stem is a that stem is very important because of how the question will be arise for your the different type of summative evaluation, summative exam. So, this question and the lecture are archived in our Dhaka Online School. If you need, you can check out later. So, dear students, no more today, and you should have to write down your homework. And this is the write down the mechanical process of food digestion. So, you should have to write down the mechanical process, actually the mechanical process in mouth and stomach. So, write down quickly your homework, write down the mechanical process of food digestions. So, dear students, thank you everyone, those who are watching our live session, our live class about the biology second paper, about the especially the class from the chapter number 3, and the specific topic was the digestion food in mouth and stomachs. So, thank you very much for watching the class, and stay with us and stay safe, and definitely you should have to stay home. This is your main duty at this pandemic moment. So, dear learners, we are standing only for you. If the class you like, you should have to this class spread everywhere the country and share with your friends. So, I am inviting to participate my class, upcoming class, the upcoming week. So, stay well, stay home. Thank you very much.